Hey, it's your boy the Crypto Goon, and shout out to all my crypto goons once again. XLM, Stellar Lumens, going crazy. And this is a move that I've been talking about on this channel for months. Let's run the replay. How I talked about in that trading view posting for it to come somewhere in this area. And then later on, a move up, right? So, I like to use the fib, so I'll break that out really quick. I don't even have to use the fib, and I can see where it's going to go. Somewhere in between this 618. Okay, so now what we're looking at here is, as you can see, out of this pattern right here, Stellar Lumens has officially taken off. Shout out to everybody that stayed down and followed learned about the chart patterns and followed this. You have now reaped the benefits of following what works, which is looking at the patterns on the chart. It's that simple. Now, there's two things going. People, they want to have an idea of where this could potentially be going, short term and long term, right? So we know we have an upcoming bull run, but then we also have the future, right? So short term, of course, if you're new here, I use the Fibonacci. Now, this is the natural state of the Fibonacci. The way that I was able to predict and catch this move was because once I figured out that this was a top, it came down, okay? And like I say in every video, when it comes to the Fibonacci, the majority of cryptocurrencies love the 50, but there are others that love the 618. So as you can see, we came down here and then we reversed and we took off, okay? Now, as far as targets, I opened up the settings of the Fibonacci. I click the reverse button, okay? Now, the reverse gives us potential price targets. Now, for me, I like the 141, okay? The 161 is too far. Although it's sexy, it's too far, okay? So during this bull run, I'm looking for XLM to hit this target, okay? In and around that target. Now, if we come even close to it, like we come here, I'm taking profits. That's just me. I'll show you all. So again, I talk about this in all my videos. We're on Google Trends for YouTube. So this is the interest over time search on YouTube for XLM. Now, you need to pay attention to this. I always say the best time to check out a crypto is when it's below 25, when nobody's talking about it. So this is where we are right now. As you can see, it's heading up. Now, when it reaches 100, that is when we will have a liquidation event. So if we look at this November 24th to November 30th of 2024. So if we come over here to XLM and we go to November of 2024, this is the monthly chart. Look what happens. Look what happened, right? So it reached the high and then it liquidated. So what I'm looking for to happen is for it to create a new high. So as of today is the 13th, right? So this is the data that is showing, say, hey, this is where it's going to be between the 13th and the 19th. So once we get this dotted line and it's up here and then it has that end date, that is a great time to possibly be looking, to make whatever decisions you want to make, whether you want to hold, whether you want to, take profits. Again, this is not financial advice, but you can go back and you can look at, the humps in this thing just to see, like, okay, you can see how it matches up, right? So when it gets really, really popular, that's when the dumb money enters. So you'll see it going crazy on social media once we get up here, and then that's when the whales will start taking profit. So you can pretty much get in tune with the whales if you pay attention to stuff like this. Although a lot of these I do hold long term, I still take money out just to bank some stuff. That's the whole point of this, is to make money. And again, like I've said in previous videos, there's a difference between cryptocurrencies that are investable and those that are tradable. The majority of them are tradable. To me, XLM is dope. It has great technology, but they aren't making as big of power moves as an XRP that has a very similar technology, right? So learn about it, keep that in mind, do what works best for you. This is not financial advice. Now, on the larger scale of things, this is a very large bullish triangle pattern. Okay, I tell people all the time, learn about these triangle patterns. They're a lot easier to maneuver and predict with. And because this pattern is so big, we're going to have a massive move to match that, like how you see down here, right? So this is also a form of a triangle pattern, okay? And as you can see, we had a large move out of it. So with this larger pattern, I'm looking for a larger move, okay? So just to show you how I would look at this, okay? So, and let me turn the Fibonacci back around. So just like how we saw what the Fibonacci did on this smaller scale, if you look at it from this high, from this low to this high, you can see what it did on a larger scale. It came down to the 50 and then it took off, and then it came down to 382 and it took off and it started to make its move up. So just like how we flipped the Fibonacci for the short term, let's look at the long term, okay? Now, I'm going to hit the reverse on this. And this, when I say the long term, I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about it's really hard to put a limit or a time limit on any of this stuff. You just have to be patient, period, right? So the 141 is giving us $11.16. Okay, long term, right? So the best thing you can do for me, I take a and again, this isn't financial advice. It's just what I do. When I hit my first target, or when I get to my first target, I take some profit, leave some in, wait for the next pullback, right? So how I talked about is coming up here to this area around $1.40 or so. It will make a new high and then it will pull back into these highs. And then that's when, for me, I'm loading up again and then riding it to, the next thing. Like this is what these markets do. They do stuff like this, right? So it's just all about being patient, waiting for, the chart patterns to set up, and we'll see new triangle patterns that'll be forming. Like, you may get one here, right? Just letting you know, all right, boom, there's another one happening. And then you may get, a channel pattern like this. And then boom, this one, shoots out, right? So it's all about being in tune with the patterns. There are some people that just want to buy and hold, but for me, I like to take some profit, then load it back up, let it run, take some profit, let it come back down, load back up, let it run. So that's just me. I'm active. I'm active. Again, to me, most of these are tradable, so I'm going to take profits because, again, the majority of cryptocurrencies are shit. I'm telling you that right now. The majority are they're trash. So all in all, this is definitely, a great look, great pan out. If you can follow me, if you can follow my trading view, I talked about this previously, how, it's easy to predict these things. Just understand the patterns, man. Completely remove your emotions, take advantage of the patterns, and you will be okay when it comes to charting. This is not financial advice. Again, it's your boy, the Crypto Goon, the one, never the two. I appreciate you all pulling up. Crypto Goon out.